This week's episode of 86 Charles is brought to you by Amazon. Go to 86charles.com and click on the Amazon link before you do your shopping. In the year of our great reptilian overlord, 2016.
When planets are in transit, we learn a lot about the world around us. I think it's the same for when people are in transit. I think they learn a lot about the world around them.
You are full of bullshit, my friend. I will sue you for everything you have. I will sue your ass.
Welcome to 86 Charles, with your hosts John Darby and Travis Spencer.
And with that, welcome to 86 Charles. Travis Spencer. Oh man.
Oh, man. John Derby, always good to hear your beautiful voice.
Nice to be heard.
So, did you watch Mercury in transit? Did you watch it past the sun?
Nope.
Did you use your special device?
I did not. No solar lens filter, whatever it was. Solar filter?
Something like that. Sounds about right.
I saw some pictures, though. I got the gist.
But the pictures are phenomenal. NASA had a really amazing video. It's a cool thing. It happens 13 times every 100 years, something like that.
Sounds about right.
So you're saying that in the universe, Mercury relates to its neighbors like Earth and Venus, like you relate to your new neighbors in your apartment complex? Is this what you're getting at?
No, not at all, actually. Well, Mercury and Venus both go in transit, like across the sun.
Right.
But I was just thinking about, because I didn't understand why it was a big deal. I'm like, yeah, it looks cool, but why does it matter? And then I actually found out that you learn different things about other planets and Earth when they cross in front of the sun. What was it? For example, back in 1677, Edmund Halley of Halley's Comet watched Mercury cross the sun and noted that if a transit were to be observed from different latitudes on Earth, the different observers would all see Mercury cross the sun along at a slightly different angle. Those various angles could then be used to calculate the distance between the Earth and the sun, which at that point was still something of a mystery. And then there's other examples of things like that where they can judge distances and sizes of planets and size of the sun and things like that.
Right. Which, I mean, those basic observations are what people have been doing for years. It's amazing how much, like, even ancient societies had an idea. That's how they built calendars. You know, it was by watching the celestial bodies. But they didn't know, like, their elliptical paths. And when you start to get into this, you see like how all the planets have these different paths. Like it takes Mercury only 88 days to go around the sun, something like that.
You ask like I'm gonna know that off the top of my head.
Oh, I thought you read the article. I thought you might know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I read it, but I didn't remember that off the top of my dome.
But yeah, there's so much incredible data. What I was thinking was like, you know how everybody always says, "Oh, Mercury's in retrograde," and that's like a big astrological thing.
Sure.
Have you ever heard that?
I've heard the term, but I don't know what the heck that means.
So literally, it appears to us like Mercury is moving the opposite way sometimes.
Okay.
So instead of moving from left to right like it did, in this passing, it will move from right to left.
Got you.
But really, that's just all nonsense because it's always rotating the same way. But it's like when we pass it, we're moving faster than it, or the angle or the distance or whatever. So it's an optical illusion that makes it appear like it's actually going the other way when we're just passing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I thought that was fascinating because people are always like, oh, Mercury's in retrograde, like literally like it's turning back. And astrologically, that means like, oh, you shouldn't start a new project or you shouldn't buy a new big thing because, yeah, it's so stupid. But as far as that goes, I was thinking about astrology for a little bit of this, and it's like there has to be some value in that when the planets, even as small as they are relative to us, move around, there are gravitational differences in the world, right?
Yeah.
When planets move around.
I mean,
so I kind of buy it in some sense, and especially celestial, like more star, because I think from stars there's actual real energy coming from it as opposed to the minute amount of gravity that maybe Mercury would bend space-time, or however you want to describe that.
And not to sound like too much of a hippie, but it all matters, man. All of it matters. When planets are aligned, how close things are to this. It all matters. It all can impact everything. So I don't find... I find astrology... Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah.
I find astrology to be bunk for the most part, but I think there is something to when you were born, what month, what season, time of day and night, I think that all of these things matter. I think we're all a product of our environment, and our environment is all inclusive.
You know what's next?
What?
You got to grow out your hair, you fucking hippie.
Mercury, be up, be up, be up. 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 I'm afraid of Americans.
What in the fuck is 86 Chuck?
We're all made of 86charles.com, man.
Oh, you're such an ass.
Speak for yourself, idiot.
Let some more hate accumulate.
It's 2015. What the hell's going on, man?
It's scary.
Strange world we live in.
Yep. The wizard's up to his old tricks.
Hey, hey, hey! Our boy got some rain.
There's so much going wrong in the world that I cannot be concerned with two dudes playing butt games. I don't care.
God is an American. God is an American.
Nickel.
Nickel, what? 5 topics currently trending. Travis, want to hear about new planets?
Do they have life on them?
We don't know yet.
All right, well, let's hear about it.
I say we like I had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
NASA added more than 1,200 new planets to the known galaxy on Tuesday, more than doubling the number of confirmed planets orbiting alien stars. Revealing data from the Kepler Space Telescope, the astronomers said that the discovery is a step toward finding Earth-like planets. Analysis on data from Kepler found that 1,284 candidates have a 99% chance of being a planet, and that is out of 4,302 potential planets detected by the telescope.
It's only
we've got a lot of work ahead of us.
It's only a matter of time, man. We're almost there. We're gonna find them.
Oh, I should have given you this. This will give you a little better jumping off point too. Kepler searches in particular for planets in the habitable zone, that's in quotes, close enough to a star for water to pool on the surface of a planet. Not so close that the star scorches water out of existence as on Mercury, and not so far that water only persists as ice as on Pluto.
Yeah, that's the Goldilocks
So that's
zone.
where they've been looking.
The Goldilocks zone, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
eventually,
too warm, not too cold.
Eventually, we're gonna find. I mean, who knows what we'll find? We'll probably find like
Baby Bear Planet.
sludge at the bottom of an ocean first, and then eventually we'll get to Avatar, and then we'll realize that we're not alone, and that they are, reptilian half breeds, and then certain people who have been talking about reptilians for years won't be so crazy. But one Kepler
it's gonna
space
take more than planets to make you less crazy.
one thing at a time. You guys aren't ready for all that, so let's slow it down, okay? Slow it down.
Oh, jeez. But I'm wondering, are they desperately looking for another Earth because they know that this one's just screwed for us? They know that we've already done irreversible damage, and they think the best chance is just find a new planet for us?
Who are they, first of all?
They? You know who they are.
See, if you're gonna go down then anything's possible. Oh well, yeah, because the reptilians actually called them.
NASA, i.e. the government, blah blah blah.
The reptilians called them and said, "Hey, you need to look in this
one's
area
a
to find
lizard.
us." There's just certain people. They seem to be people that have a lot of money that are really interested in space now. It's like I think it's also the next frontier. Like if we're gonna get into mining asteroids for money, we'll find things to make money as we go along, but for now it's like they're looking for resources essentially, I guess. So yes, we're running out here. There's 7 billion people on this planet. There's gonna be 10 billion in 10 years. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I hope they find more planets, but not so that we can just go and rape those too.
Well, what do you think we're gonna do?
No, I know.
Be polite?
It'd be nice.
Let's
Did
talk.
we learn nothing from the Native Americans?
Let's talk. Speaking of Native Americans, let's talk about something much more positive.
Please.
Are you a
Less
Budweiser
lizard
drinker,
related.
John Derby?
Bud Light was my first regular beer, but I got out of that pretty quickly.
Because it's garbage.
Sure.
So Budweiser is looking for approval to be called America this summer. They are trying to get their branding rephrased, and they're going to call itself America, and peppering its package with the very phrase, liberty and justice for all, and is indivisible since 1776. The company wants to replace Budweiser, the name of the beer, with the word America, the name of our country for the summer. According to Adage, Anheuser-Busch Inc. has filed the above label for approval from the Alcohol and Tobacco Trade Bureau. In addition to the aforementioned phrases, the word heavy label would include in capital letters the following: land of the free, home of the brave, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, that this land was made for you and me. And also there will be the first 4 bars of the Star Spangled Banner. John, is that American enough for you?
That's pretty American.
Gee.
Does it have a machine gun on it?
That's not American. You need an AR, like an AR-15. That's American. What were you thinking? Like an AK-47? That's definitely Russian. So it depends on your machine gun, I guess.
Yes.
Will this sway you though, like to get back into Anheuser-Busch Bud products?
No. It's just it's just marketing. I don't care. It doesn't affect me one way or the other. You can call it whatever the hell you want, honestly.
It's pretty hilarious that,
care.
especially that it is InBev now, which is a Belgian company that owns it. You know, it's like, so
Right.
It's a good ploy. Hopefully it helps out, the nationalism and getting back to our roots.
I don't know why my first thought was it had something to do with Donald Trump.
Well, because it's
just don't know
definitely
why.
aimed towards his people that might be his followers, his voters.
I don't know why I made that connection, but it was just the way that I saw it. And because I think in the article I read, somebody had expressed something, the fact that because of the election season, it's going to be the most American summer ever, blah, blah, something to that effect.
Right. Well, I think even last year, I remember around the 4th of July, they released like American flag bottles and stuff like that. So it's
Sure.
like, it has to do with that whole 4th of July. This is America. Be proud to be an American.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe their flags got a boost in sales, and so they thought, hey, let's just call it America
next step
and
up.
put the Star Spangled Banner on the bottle. We'll see what happens.
That's pretty funny. For a good gag, I'll drink a couple Americas. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. I'll let off some fireworks.
You know what's going to
and
happen
burn
next
some shit.
is Coke is going to want to be called Christmas for the winter months.
Hey, we're almost there. They write enough other stupid shit on their cans. Like, that's really not going far enough.
And they already have the polar bears and Santa Claus. I mean, they're going to just call themselves Christmas.
I'm thinking about getting an America tattoo across my chest. What do you think?
I think any tattoo of you would be great on you.
My face,
Of you, why not?
long hair blowing in the wind, America.
Mm.
I'm all in. All right, that's
Yeah.
enough of
Can't
America
add to
for
that.
now.
Oh, man. Speaking of America, and actually, this is actually kind of un-American. I'm a little surprised. A 14-year-old turns down $30 million for his startup company. Taylor Rosenthal has turned down a $30 million offer to buy his startup, RecMed. The 14-year-old exhibited his startup, a vending machine that serves first aid kits rather than snacks, at TechCrunch Disrupt, New York, this week. This is a quote from Rosenthal. They told me that I was the youngest person ever to get accepted to the event. It felt awesome. Rosenthal's idea started as a class project after he noticed a lack of first aid supplies available for purchase at baseball tournaments. To date, the startup has raised $100,000, and Rosenthal plans to start distributing the machines in the fall. Now, do you think it's because he thinks he can make more money by keeping it and distributing the machines? Or does he think that he'll do more good by turning down the money, and he's just trying to be magnanimous?
Yeah, I guess that is the question. Because honestly, if you ask me, I don't know if there's a $30 million industry in medical supply vending machines. Like, because you know what a snack bar has at a Little League game? Snack bar has a paper towel and a bag of ice. What else do you need? You know? What? And why are you going to the vending machine? Like you're gonna fish out quarters and go to this thing and to get a friggin' Band-Aid? No, go to the. This is ridiculous. I think you got bad advice.
You got to think of other countries too. He could end up selling them in other countries. That might be more.
Oh, because
helpful.
Yeah, Africans just got change lying around. They're like, oh, we just we
not Africa.
So and so just got half eaten by a crocodile. I need a Band-Aid. Yeah, I don't. This is not a great idea. It's not a great idea. I'm not buying it.
First of all, how dare you rip on this 14-year-old that's already accomplished more than both of us put together?
Yeah, but you know what this 14-year-old should do? He should cash in on the $30 million and move on to a better idea. Like if he's got $30 million to play, maybe he'll actually come up with a better one next time.
Maybe he's smart enough to know that he's only going to have one great idea and he's got to max it out.
$30 million for, I just don't see him maxing it out beyond that. But you know what?
What do you know about the medical vending supply game?
I just told you.
That you know that's not a $30 million market. It's at least a $30 million market because somebody offered him $30 million for it.
That's what I'm saying. That's the max of the market. So you should take the money and run because then it is not
How do you know that
necessarily
they
a $30
didn't
million
lowball the hell
market
out of
because
him?
if that
How
guy
do you know
doesn't
that
make
someone
$30 million,
wasn't
then it's not a $30 million market. And he overpaid.
You're crazy. You know what? I'll tell you what. I'm going to bet you right now this kid makes more than $30 million off of this idea.
All right, let's make
How about that?
Let's put $5 on this guy's $30 million.
Yeah, my money's on you, Taylor Rosenthal.
So
you know a lot more than some dirty bum out in the desert.
I guess what we should do is hope that it goes public, and then we can put that $5 in, and you can buy his stock since you believe in him so much.
I just believe in it more than I believe in your knowledge of need for medical vending machines.
Didn't you grow up playing like on fields and like I was always at the park? Like if somebody got hurt,
but I am
like
dude, I am so gangster. I don't even know what a Band-Aid is.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought you were supposed to bleed.
Is it these pussy ass millennials that they need a Band-Aid?
Of course it is.
So they'll just like buy fashion.
It is.
Are they fashion Band-Aids? So they're just all like Roadrunner and Mickey Mouse Band-Aids? Like what's I don't know. Maybe
so guys
maybe
like
there's
you
more
can
to
buy
it.
tampons while you're playing ball.
Well, now we're talking. Now you got a $40 million industry.
See?
We didn't say that those were going to be in there.
Taylor Rosenthal and I know what's up.
I've had enough. Let's move on. Over in Scotland, a man has been arrested over an online video that reportedly shows a dog making a Nazi salute. The 28-year-old from Coatbridge in North Lanarkshire faces hate crime charges over the video. The clip allegedly shows a pug sitting in front of a screen showing footage of Adolf Hitler and appearing to make Nazi salutes. Officers said the video had been shared online and caused offense and hurt to many people in our community. Scotland police A Police Scotland spokeswoman said a 28-year-old man was arrested on Thursday, 28th of April, in relation to an alleged publication of offensive material online, improper use of electronic communications under the Communications Act of 2003. A report has been submitted to the Procurator Fiscal. This is ridiculous, John. This is against the freedom of speech. Thank God this didn't happen in America because there would be outrage all over. If a dog does a Hitler,
but things like that
Heil
happen all
Hitler,
the time here. Don't act like we're immune.
it's funny. What happened? Like this is the liberal agenda taking over the world, and didn't you think that liberals were about the right of the
It's the
freedom of
political
speech?
correctness agenda. It's not the liberal agenda.
Well, that's where it comes from. It comes from the left. It doesn't come from the right. It comes from the left, and it is in reaction to all the stupid shit.
No,
right
but the right has plenty of examples of crap just like this. This is just the over censorship of the world because everybody's too sensitive.
It's these millennials again, man, with their little Pink Panther Band-Aids.
Well, what people don't understand is you give so much more credence to whatever this guy was trying to accomplish by making it this big of a deal.
Absolutely.
Why not just pull the post, shut down his account, and nobody ever talks about it?
Right. But now there's going to be
and
news
then he's
stories.
just out. He doesn't get to interact and voice himself and have his stupid little opinion heard. And I think that's a much better result than whatever's going to happen to him legally and tie up funds and time. And
yeah, by doing this, they're literally giving him a platform because, you know, he's going to be interviewed and he's going to be in articles and he's like, I'm not a real Nazi supporter, just my dog is, but, you know, that one thing Hitler did was right or something. And you're like, well, now it's deeper, right?
Yeah, it's so still. It's just frustrating that we take up time and resources and efforts for crap like this.
So if you are, when you are going to post your video, just don't post it in Scotland and you'll be all right. Okay, John?
Yeah.
With your little pug.
It's whatever.
Come on, warm me up. This is too cold.
Fire you up. What?
Warm me up. I'm sad and cold with these stories about the state of the world.
Well, I was going to say, I'm going to give you more improper use of communication.
Oh, man.
Fox orders Lethal Weapon and more to series. Fox has given series orders, dramas, Lethal Weapon, The Exorcist, APB, and Pitch, as well as comedies Making History and The Mick. I don't care about any of those shows except for what are they doing to my beloved Lethal Weapon.
They're going to ruin
In
it.
Lethal Weapon, when Texas Cop, which I believe is already strained from the original story, and former Navy SEAL, which I don't believe he was a Navy SEAL either, Martin Riggs, played by Clayne Crawford, who looks like a tool, suffers the loss of his wife and baby. God, they're already straying off of the original brilliance of the story.
Yeah.
He moves to Los Angeles to start anew. Jackasses. There he gets partnered with LAPD detective Roger Murtaugh. This is the only reason we're talking about this is because of this casting right here. Played by Damon Wayans Sr., who, having recently suffered a minor heart attack, must avoid any stress in his life. Man, what a bag of flaming crap left on my doorstep for me to stomp out.
It's not a total loss yet, because if there is a Mel Gibson cameo, it might be worth watching.
There's not a chance Mel Gibson would go anywhere near that. No chance.
Come on, he's been
Zero
sued enough.
chance.
Like, everybody hates him now. Maybe he needs to, you know, come back into the fold a little bit, and he'll take the gig. He'll take the gig.
Zero chance.
All right, that's all I'm looking out for. Is if Mel Gibson appears, I'll watch the episode.
If he wasn't gonna pop up in Mad Max, he sure as hell is not popping up in this turd.
I don't think
That would be more offensive than any comments he made about Jewish people.
I don't think anybody
showed up
offered
in
him a
this
cameo
bag of crap.
in Mad Max because they knew it was going to be badass and they didn't want to ruin it. This is going to suck, and they might be able to save it with a cameo. At least save their numbers. It's network TV. They don't care about making anything good. They just want to make money.
Well, I was going to say it's because Mad Max didn't need the gimmick. They didn't need to try and
because it was
get the
badass.
Because they made a good product.
It was good from the first second to the last second. It was awesome. But yeah, this is going to be garbage. So that's why I'm saying they'll pay extra to get Mel Gibson because they know
Although side
suckers
note,
like me will tune in.
For Mad Max, apparently Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy hated each other. Apparently they really couldn't stand working together.
Are we really talking about this?
No, I said side note. I threw it in there.
Man, sometimes
I have to listen to all your lizard crap all the time. I can't throw in a half a step of entertainment news.
like pop. You want to give me some pop media with Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy?
I can't.
That would be great.
You're
Yeah,
the
that's really gonna
worst.
change the world, like a reptilian overlord.
the
Sure, that
worst.
helps. That's great. We're on the same level there.
Who's trying to change the world right now?
Look, all I'm just saying is Mel Gibson makes cameo, I'll watch. Other than that, I'm done with this story.
Ugh, you're the worst.
My Mercury's in retrograde. My Mercury's in retrograde. Mercury's in retrograde. My Mercury's in retrograde. His father named him Mercury.
Jesse's favorite part of the show.
From last week.
Hello, folks.
I was all set to make some dumb point about the poor timing the guys had, discussing how you'd never want to bring anyone back to life, the same week worldwide hero Jon Snow was brought back to life. Spoiler alert. But how could my favorite part not be a psychic who senses a love of cheese? I would like details on where and when I can get a reading from this psychic, and if she leads every session with a guess on the cuisine preferences of her subject. Like, is that just a parlor trick for her, or is she a food specialist? I might just guess cheese for everyone, because unless you're lactose intolerant, I think most people eat cheese. And if you are lactose intolerant, I could easily just be like, yeah, I was getting a strong reaction to cheese. Must be because you can't eat it. It's just such a strange thing to get a reading on. I'm imagining her going to ask about love or career or family, and the psychic being like, do me a favor, come back after having eaten less cheese, because all I'm getting right now is cheese. But what about Travis? Is he the one for me? Honestly, don't know because of the cheese vibe. It's obviously less important to you, but it is overwhelming for me. This is Jesse, and psychics being real was my favorite part of last week's podcast.
From Universal Pictures and Imagine Entertainment, Bruce Willis.
That kid is your responsibility. Whose responsibility is he?
Mercury Rising.
It's time for the failed athlete perspective. Travis.
Oh boy, John. Are you ready to accept Steph Curry as your Lord and Savior?
No. I don't bow to the altar of Curry, but congrats. Back-to-back MVP, first unanimous MVP, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible to be the first unanimous with all the, I can't believe Jordan.
Yeah,
I thought Jordan
or
would
LeBron
have it,
at least I would have thought more recently, but
right. But I mean, if he was the MVP last year, and then his team had the greatest season of all time, and he jacked up 400 threes, he's got to be the MVP.
No,
There's no doubt,
question
right?
he was the MVP, but there's always somebody who's gonna be that guy who refuses.
This year was pretty obvious from the jump. People were saying after the first 3 weeks of the season that he was the MVP, because he was just
But you act like
it.
it's all based in logic and that there's not some political aspect to it and there's not some contrarian aspect to it of somebody who just, and again, I said it earlier, I would be that guy in the room who would probably vote for Kawhi Leonard and get on a soapbox about it. But just to do it. I mean,
you can make the argument. It's not right, but you can make the argument, and that's
12
what they're all
angry
about.
men.
A lot of sports writers, right? That's what right. That's what it's all built on. But just an incredible season. It's good to see Steve Nash at the press conference. That was fun. Always love seeing anytime I can see Steve Nash. But what's more important was last night, coming off the injury, coming off almost 3 weeks, 4 weeks, almost a month without playing a full game, to come out and light up Portland like that was incredible, man. It was one of the best playoff games I've seen in a long time. It was
it's
a
not
great
that it
game.
wasn't great. I just wasn't at all surprised by it. Didn't shock. And again, I didn't see it in real time. I'll confess to that. But
yeah,
it wasn't at all surprising. I expect that guy to go drop 40 every night. I'm more surprised when he doesn't. I'm more surprised when he doesn't hit a game winner or a half court or a 3-quarter shot or.
Right, but this is because you didn't watch it, because you're watching the first half, the first 3 quarters, and every time he falls, you're like,
I have said it to you countless times on and off of this podcast that if you're not up by double digits with less than a minute, you're not out of the woods. They can score in bunches.
Yeah, but also he'd been out for 3 weeks, and the game before, they had struggled.
He's the best
they scored
player
in
the
bunches.
NBA.
Draymond put up 37.
Michael
Klay
Jordan
had 35, and they still lost.
Came back and made the playoffs. He doesn't. There are guys that are on a different level. That doesn't matter. Rules don't apply.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Last night, he just set that tone, because we've seen it in the regular season, but we haven't seen him play out of his mind like he did last night in the playoffs.
Steph Curry went all
night.
Steph Curry. He just does what he does all the time.
But he still wasn't this Steph Curry in the playoffs last year. This is insane. This is still back on that level. And to be out
year better.
Almost a month and just to step right back in and just crush it.
He's put in a full year's worth of very hard work. This is nothing surprising. And then next year when he puts 60 on somebody and goes 10 for 10 from beyond the arc, you're going to be like, oh, it's unbelievable. No, it's not. He's just doing what Steph Curry does in this watered-down league.
Have you ever shot a basketball? How is it not incredible?
I'm just
like,
used
you
to
say,
it.
I
He's
get
doing
it.
exactly
it's great,
what I
but
expect
you, like,
him to
you
do.
disrespect what he's actually doing. It's like it's crazy what he's doing. You think Damian Lillard isn't working just as hard every day?
I mean, probably.
He just can't do it. He can't do
but
it on
he's
the
just
same
not
level.
the same guy. I mean, it's.
But you just speak in these like absolutes, like, I saw it coming.
I don't know what you're the one that's
like. How can you not be in
always
awe
the
of
one
this?
that's
That's what
sucking
I've
on
never
Steph Curry.
understood.
Why is this a shock to you that he's still great? I mean, wake me up when there's news, brother.
He hasn't played in a competitive game for a month, and he steps in and he just like kills
the
it. Like,
best
that's pretty impressive. Most guys, it
player
takes a game or two.
in the NBA. He's already one of the best players we've ever seen. Why is this any bit of a surprise? I don't get why it's, oh my God, it's unbelievable. It's not coming from nowhere. We've seen him do it 2 years in a row. We see him get better almost game to game.
Okay, but it's still like, why do you even care about basketball?
Because I like basketball. I love the sport. It's a great sport.
Okay, so you watch the highlights and you don't see the buildup of the game, and you're like, oh, I just expected
one game.
it.
Don't act like I never watch
happen.
games, ass. I just didn't see that.
Why didn't you put $500 in Vegas that he was going to score 40 points? Like, why didn't you do that? I knew it was going to happen.
I didn't know it was going to happen. I expect it to happen. It doesn't surprise me when Steph freaks out. Now, when Clay drops 30 in a quarter or whatever it was, yeah, that's surprising. That's impressive because you don't expect that. But when you tell me, oh, Steph Curry freaks out, yeah, that's what he does all the time. He would go for 40 a game if they ever played him in the fourth quarter, and this would be way less impressive. He would drop.
Your hatred just breathes through it, like breathes through you. You just can't. You can't give him.
Oh man,
you can't say
I don't know how
anything
your
nice.
skull doesn't
expect
collapse
it.
being so empty.
It should be like he should do this every game. Like, it's not incredible. It blows.
I'm not
my
saying
mind.
it's not
I'll never
impressive.
Your logic.
It's just not exciting for me.
How is it not exciting? You didn't even watch the game. How can you say that?
Oh, God, you drive me nuts. It was one game I didn't see. You act like I never watched Steph Curry or the Warriors or basketball. It was one game I didn't happen to see.
Yeah, but we're talking about that one specific game and how he ripped out the Portland, the entire city of Portland. He ripped out their
because
hearts.
Portland thinks they're going to win a championship.
Threw it on the ground. No, but they were playing pretty impressive. And Damian Lillard is a top
I'm not taking
10
anything away
player,
from Portland. They're trying as hard as anybody against the Warriors. And when most teams don't even do that. Most teams quit when they get off the bus.
I'm just saying, if you're hung up for a month, you haven't played, and you step right in the game and take over.
Has he been sitting around eating chips all day? No, don't act like...
No, he's been working. He's been busting his ass.
Of course he has.
Yeah, but he hasn't been
so
in
for
a
him
game.
to step back into a competitive arena, which he's been dying to do, and then have him do really well? Oh, man, I can't believe it. The best player in the NBA played like the best player in the NBA. It's crazy. It's not hatred. It's just
Right,
it's
move on to
not
the other
surprising.
series.
It's what I expect. I'm surprised they've lost a game in the playoffs. That's surprising. I expect everyone to lay down until the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, but they didn't have Steph for the only game they lost was one with both without him, right?
Yeah.
Both games they lost were without Steph. So what? So it's impressive. All right, the other series, the playoffs got really good this weekend. San Antonio, Oklahoma City has been awesome.
Been a great series.
Great back and forth series. Who you like? It's 3-1 Oklahoma City right now, or 3-2 Oklahoma City right now.
I still like the Spurs.
Oklahoma City.
You got to beat the Spurs for me to bet against the Spurs. So I still like the Spurs.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Right. Even in Oklahoma City, what's more likely? The Spurs are going to put together a good game, or that KD and Westbrook are going to blow it?
I think the Spurs are going to win that game. It's not going to be handed to them. It's not going to be a collapse by the Thunder. I won't say that. No, I think the Spurs are going to go in and take it though.
I don't know. This is a tough one. I think I want to see the Spurs because I want to see Spurs Golden State all year. That's all I've been waiting for. I think that's the series that decides the championship. But the Spurs look old, man. Tim Duncan, Manu, Tony Parker.
Tony Parker did not look old tonight. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Tony Parker.
He's looked fine. The last 3 games, Tony Parker's looked pretty good. The first 2 before that, questionable. Tim Duncan hasn't looked good at all. Tonight, he had a little bit of a better game.
He looks all of 40, and I get. But it's not a great matchup for him too. There are other series that I think he could be more effective. This is just not good. This is not a good matchup for him.
Yeah, but I don't know if there's any teams
No,
left
there's
in
not.
the playoffs that
I
he
agree
would have
with
a
you
good matchup with.
that there's not.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying
But
Tim Duncan's
I do agree
done
with
as
you.
a player.
Until the Thunder do it, I'll still put my money on the Spurs because they've got too many things that can go wrong there. And you see how volatile Westbrook is. Like in the third quarter, he just went nuts. And when he makes those shots, they're good. And if he doesn't make those shots, they're not good.
Yeah. I think I think the Thunder have everything to do with Westbrook. When Westbrook decides he needs to win a game, they are as hard to beat as anybody. But I don't know if he always has that. But he flipped the switch probably. I want to say it was I'm going to say game 3. Maybe it was game 2. I can't remember. But you could just kind of feel like he just started putting his head down and decided he was going to, if they win this series, it's because he decided they needed to win it.
Well, game 3 is when he took like 40-something shots. And then game 4, he had 15 assists. So he like changed the whole philosophy. Like, okay, I'm going to get the other guys involved first. And tonight he did the same thing. He started the game off, got the guys involved. Third quarter, when they needed him to score, he went for it.
There's
nuts.
just a level of aggressiveness
quarter,
and
it was
speed
a good
that he
balance
plays
with,
with
KD.
sometimes that you know that he's just dialed it in.
Yeah, that's pretty much every play, man. He goes all out every play. It's pretty insane. It's fun to
Yeah,
watch.
He's a lot of fun to watch. I get that.
We'll move to the East real quick because it's
What is
god
there to talk
awful.
about?
Been watching the Raptors and the Heat.
I hope it's Cleveland, Miami. That's what I want.
Yeah, that's what we need to see. I mean, going to Toronto for Game 5. 6 would be in Miami. 7 would be back in Toronto. So Toronto should, with 2 games, pull it out, but they suck.
Why do you say they should?
Both these teams suck. Because they've got 2 home games. They should win 2 out of 3.
I don't think home court means anything in that series.
Lowry does look a little bit better, but I hate their offense. They don't move the ball. It's so disappointing to watch this series and then to watch Golden State, Portland, or, the 2 West series go on afterward. You're like, I just have to watch this Miami-Toronto game because I have to wait until 7:30 to watch the real game. It's pathetic. It's not even and I think either way, either of these teams is probably going to get swept by Cleveland.
Miami will get 1. Dwayne Wade, LeBron will give him 1 just because he won't want to sweep his boyfriend.
Right. Well, that and Dwayne Wade will bait him into like a one-on-one game.
Right. So, I mean,
where they just
or
play
Wade will
alpha
freak
male.
out and put 40 on him.
Totally. But no, like, because Wade will just be like, he'll talk shit and he'll be like, oh, you guys going to move the ball? I'm just going to take it to you every time. And then LeBron will be like, oh, I can still do that too. Watch. And then they'll win that one game.
I think Miami could get 1. Toronto might even get 1.
No. Toronto's terrible, especially if Valanciunas is
Yeah, no,
out.
Valanciunas is not good.
God awful. All right, that's enough basketball. Oh, one last thing. Are you excited? The lottery's on Tuesday.
Lon Babby is a bloody wanker.
Let's put a little hope out there in the universe. The Suns get the number 1
That'd be
pick.
cool.
I want top 2. I'll take top 2.
Although we never talked about it. Do you like the Earl Watson hire?
No,
Nah, me
really.
neither.
But I don't like this owner sucks. The owner sucks. He's always making bad decisions. Like they should have never fired Jeff Hornacek. They should have never traded Isaiah Thomas. They should have never done a lot of things. So at least they got rid of Markieff Morris. I like Devin Booker. Watson might be an okay coach, but there was a lot of talent out there. You could have brought in a good coach.
And my concern is maybe no one wanted that job, so that's why they went ahead and took the guy that was already there.
Yeah, but I got to figure you can get the Nets got a Spurs assistant. It's like you can get guys. Somebody's going to take a bad job to prove
They should
themselves.
have gotten Van Gundy.
Maybe
That
that's
would've
Earl
been
Watson.
awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if Van Gundy's going to.
Yeah,
Phoenix.
I don't even think he's going to coach, but he keeps getting mentioned for like every job.
So if we get the number 1 pick, we take Ingram or Simmons.
Take Simmons, man. Got to.
You got to take Simmons, right? On raw potential alone.
He's been the presumptive number 1
And he looks
pick
good in
all
purple.
year, and I don't think he's done anything to talk anyone out of it.
Except I don't think he's going to the combine, is he? Something weird like that.
Doesn't matter. You've seen what you need to see.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right, that's enough.
Done.
Am I eating hot and lost in Mercury? Eating hot and lost in
It's time for the Facebook World News Update. This Real to Someone News Update is brought to you by Another Dimension, New Galaxy, Intergalactic, Planetary. A man in California said he really wanted a burger, so he went to buy one. Then he got home to find out they gave him an extra burger. Hashtag winning. A man in Inglewood said there's an ice cream truck directly outside his house. Or a neighborhood anti-hero is blasting The Entertainer from a boombox. A man in Los Angeles said seems to be losing his mind. After just 2 bottles of wine, he can't find his roids, cocaine, or handguns.
With the first pick in the 1997 NBA draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Tim Duncan from Wake Forest University.
Goodbye, Timmy. It's been real. It seems like a whole lifetime ago that the San Antonio Spurs started the tanking epidemic to steal you from the Boston Celtics in 1997.
Tim Duncan has some fans up here in the Carolinas.
It seems like forever ago that you told Robert Horry to hip check Steve Nash and bust his nose into oblivion.
This is where Big Shot Rob might have become Cheap Shot Rob.
Who are we kidding? Pop is the mastermind, but you are a great puppet. Fuck Manu Ginobili. That flopping motherfucker. It seems like a lifetime ago that you sank that 3 and killed the Nash and Shark team.
His first three-point field goal of the season.
It's a shame that you couldn't make it far enough in the playoffs to face the Suns 2.0. Also known as the Golden State Warriors.
38 points for Curry. And he tells the fans, I am back. I am back.
Too bad. I would have enjoyed the beard down. Game recognize game. Ride off into the sunset and don't look back. Peace.
Raja Bell will be aware of that. They give it back to Ginobili. Nash all over him. O'Neal with the help. Takes it to the basket. Duncan, a three-pointer. Puts it up. It's good! Tim Duncan from three-point land ties the game.
A woman in Tucson said looks like another invitation was lost in the mail. Only one person will know what she is talking about. A man in California said he is giving up on his dreams until he learns to play Sultans of Swing on guitar. This Real to Someone news update is brought to you by Another Dimension, New Galaxy, Intergalactic, Planetary.
Dad's got notebooks. We don't know what's in her notebooks. She's gonna show us all her notebooks. Little yellow pad.
Here are some things that I thought about in June 2011. $100 bills make me nervous. Well, they do. I hate when someone gives me a $100 bill. Where am I going to spend it? People look at you like you're a counterfeiter. Some places will only take 20s or 50s. You know the only people that like $100 bills? Guys that like to show off for their dates. You know what their dates are thinking? Where'd you get that $100 bill, dumbass? If you were rich, you'd have one of those heavy black credit cards, not a $100 bill. You're either a drug dealer or you sell stuff at swap meets. You know the only place that I can spend a $100 bill? Wood Ranch. How do you find a first date station in Switzerland? Seriously. Think about it. Early morning comedy. Anyone's funny when you're punchy. You know, that one's not true because, you know, everyone's angry in the morning. That's why comedy shows are late at night with drunk people, not in the morning with coffee and egg McMuffins. I especially am grumpy in the morning. Don't try and be funny. I don't know why I wrote this. I was wrong. See foam satin cropped pants at the Coliseum? It's like 80 degrees. Seriously, Rome and summer don't mix with satin and friction. 2 words. Crotch sweat. Chris Prasia dream. He was the best man wearing all green like a leprechaun. The comedian, Theo, from The Road Rules was the other groomsman. Okay, that sounds like the kind of dream you'd have after a hard day and a bunch of Tylenol PM. But honestly, Prasia and Theo from The Road Rules, I could see them as leprechauns, you know, at the bachelor party. I wonder if they know each other. Anyway, need lint hair sheets. Well, who doesn't? Reading a comment thread and everyone seems to have some disease, MS, Crohn's, etc. Like all they do is comment all day because they are home ill. What does that demographic do to the saturation of comments? That's a really good observation. That's why I stopped reading Jezebel. Angry celiacs saying mean things about Jennifer Lawrence. I have better things to do with my time. Why don't you go store all your speed safely in a jar? Well, that's good advice, I guess. Why don't you? Go store your speed safely in a jar. 5-year anniversary of the Northridge Theater Department dorm, 3rd floor. I didn't go to Northridge. I have no idea where I wrote that down. 5-year anniversary of the Northridge Theater Department dorm, 3rd floor. Sorry, guys, sounds boring. Don't know what it means. Maybe it's an idea for the most boring sketch routine ever. I'll get working on that. Okay. Why did Khan go to Kronos? I still don't know the answer to this one. Wasn't going to Kronos just playing into Admiral Marcus's hands, by starting a war with the Klingons? I don't get it. No one's ever explained it to me, so if you can let me know, text me. Or I'm on Twitter. There's like one of me, and I have 6 people following me. Okay. The Rosencrantz and Guildenstern of... No, wait, I'm not going to read that one. The Rosencrantz and Guildenstern of anything is usually awesome, but I'm keeping that one to myself. I need some private things. I'm going to keep on loving you, REO Speedwagon. That is a song for my karaoke list. I'm gonna keep on loving you. That would be a terrible karaoke song. Maybe like when it gets kind of, like when you get into it and you're like, I don't want to sleep. No, it's terrible. Okay. Charlotte's webcam. Think about it. And, here's this. This is a deeper one, right? It's like I was a character Maggie Smith would play in a movie about first-gen hipsters. I think you know what I mean. All you have to do is eat out in Echo Park. And you know what I mean. Stand in line for an hour on Sunset, waiting to eat poached eggs with frickin' frisee, and you'll know. Choke out the words, 1 artisanal falafel with vegan cheese and oat milk tea, please, and you will know what I mean. And lastly, James Franco, industrious pothead. Well, can't argue with that one. And I know some other people in that club. Anyway, on that note, I gotta go. Maybe I can go get some Tylenol PM and drink some oat tea. Have a nice week. P.S. 2 of my Survivor fantasy contestants are in the final 4. So, in your face, doubters.
I've brought bread
to men, women, and children.
I've brought water with lemon for the table.
I have hot tea.
Can I box that for you?
I'll bring your change.
Okay, so way back when I worked at the movie theater, we were playing New Jack City, and initially we had 2 showings per night. We had like a 7 and a 7:30, and then a 10 and a 10:30, and the 7 and 7:30 didn't sell that well, but the 10 and 10:30 were sold out. So because we had a 4-plex, we canceled another movie, and then we were going to show New Jack City on that extra screen so we could sell more tickets, and we sold out that 3rd auditorium. So it's time to let in for the 10 o'clock show, and it's sold out, 300 seats. 10 o'clock's about to start. Only half the people are in the theater. So the managers were thinking, well, probably what happened was a lot of these other people saw their friends were going to go to the 10:30, and they go, why don't we go to the 10:30 instead, even though they had tickets for the 10 o'clock. So we knew people were going to try to sneak into some of the other auditoriums. Oh, and we had another movie called Closet Land that sold out to only people that would want to see New Jack City. You could tell, So you're like, we were selling tickets for Closet Land, but nobody wants to see Closet Land. It was this movie with Madeline Stowe, really small movie. Anyway, but we weren't allowed to cancel that one. So we had to, we actually closed off our concession stand. We had people situated at all the outside doors, even the ones, behind the movie theaters and everything. We were ready for this. We were going to let in for the 10:30 show. We had a line going down the street. We opened the doors to let in just the line. All of a sudden, people converged from all different areas. We closed the doors. Couldn't do anything else. So we closed the doors. And then people started pounding on all of our glass doors. And people were pounding on the box office. We basically had to cancel the show because we couldn't let people in. And we started giving out refunds. But in a movie theater, you don't have a lot of money because once you reach a certain amount of money, you have to drop the money down a one-way drop safe. So we only carry like $500-$600 in the box office till, so we refunded as much as we could, and we told everybody else they could get a free pass and refund later in the week. Later in the week. We not only would give them a cash refund, I think we also said we'd give them a free pass because that's all we could do. But meantime, we had people reach, because in the box office you have that little window. So we had people reaching their hands in there. We had people banging on the glass doors. We were all a little scared. You have hundreds and hundreds of angry people outside the doors. Finally, the cops come in their riot gear. Oh, no, it's... they had to come in the riot gear. And then, of course, people get injured. And, we're closing up the theater and stuff. And meanwhile, we knew people at the video store across the street. They wanted to check what was going on like a couple hours later. And both those guys got beat up. One of them had a broken arm.
Seriously, so New Jack City video.
Yeah, and then what happened, so, of course, the media comes out. We're not allowed to make statements. People are accusing us of overselling tickets, which our computer can't do. But we weren't allowed to make a statement. So the next day I read that Mario Van Peebles claimed that his movie was not a violent movie, doesn't bring out a violent crowd, and that the theater was at blame for overselling tickets. And I was so pissed because I'm like, yes, I endangered my life to oversell tickets. No, thank you. I'm like, get the facts right before you make statements.
Mario Van Peebles.
Yes. So, anyway.
That was David Kenwood. Thanks, David. That was an awesome story.
Great story, David. That's nuts, man. I can't... For New Jack
wanna
City,
see New Jack,
it's like
man.
These people didn't have Netflix and streaming options. Like there was only one way to get a movie back then or something, huh?
And that got people fired up.
Man, I was way too young. I think I was like 9, so I didn't see New Jack City till a little bit later.
I saw it a lot. I didn't see it until like a few years ago.
Right, and obviously I don't remember the previews or any of the how excited people were to see it. I wonder, was this in L.A.? He didn't say, did he?
No, he didn't say where it was.
Interesting. But yeah, how freaky would that be, man? You're just sitting there like, it's
cops
a theater.
and riot gear.
It's just a movie.
Come on.
Relax. Like, you guys want to see Pookie smoke crack? I mean, we all want to see Pookie smoke crack. That's like Chris Rock's jumping off point. Was that his big thing? His first big role?
Not his first movie, but that was kind of his big break, I guess, in movies.
Right.
Because he was in Beverly Hills Cop.
And Snipes, too?
Yeah,
Or
Snipes
what had
is in
Snipes
that.
done before that? Is that his first big? I'm so bad at... Because he didn't get...
Because it was right around the same time as White Men
Men
Can't Jump as well. So...
Right.
And definitely well before Blade.
Interesting. Did you you ever worked in a place like that where it just got heated, just got nuts?
The only thing I could think of was
crazy, but
my favorite part of working at Subway was when we would close at 10 and lock the door, and someone would always come up at 10:05, 10:07 and pull on the door, and then you have to give them the old shrug like, sorry, dude. And then one time one guy got like super pissed off and was like banging on the front door, and then came back and was at the back door, which was also, or it's on the same side, but it's further back. But then he started like scratching on the glass with like a quarter or something. It was just like tearing up the glass. It was weird. He wasn't going to get in or anything, but it's like, dude, what are you doing?
I want my sandwich.
It's like, because now we're going to come let you in now that you've messed up the glass window. Like, oh, okay, sorry, dude. We didn't know how badly you wanted a BMT.
I think the most like irate person I've ever dealt with, and it wasn't a riot by any means, but it was just one guy. I was like cleaning off a bar top, literally, and I was like, it was like a stretch even for my long ass arms. And I was reaching over and I was like dumping crumbs on the other side of the bar, and there was like a table on the other side, and I guess like they kind of gotten close to him, so he came up and he was pissed, like half drunk, pissed, and he got in my face. He's like, I can't believe you're knocking off these crumbs into my family. I'll take you outside right now. And I was just like, whoa, dude. Crumbs? You think I'm dusting crumbs off on
like
your
I
family?
blew him in your
I don't
kid's
give a
face.
shit about your family. Like a 21-year-old kid, he's like a 40-year-old man getting in my face over crumbs.
On my family.
I can't believe you're dusting these crumbs up on my family.
Dude, relax.
It's like, whoa.
Trying to insult your namesake through crumbs.
Did you ever work at a movie theater?
No.
I know that's a
Never
lot
did
of
work
people
in a
did
movie
that.
theater.
No, me neither. I think I applied. I definitely, when I moved to Hollywood, I applied and I got like the second interview at the ArcLight. And then I saw that it was going to be like $8 an hour, and I was just like, no thanks.
No. I would have done that maybe
it's
maybe when I was younger, but
totally. And we've talked about that before. That's the worst thing about the restaurant industry is like once you get in,
it's
you
hard
can't
to
go
do
take
other
an $8
things.
an hour job. It's impossible. And plus, like if I got to deal with New Jack City riots, like
You're not paying
I'm
me
out,
enough for
you know?
that.
You don't pay me enough. I'm not overselling my tickets so I can deal with this riot. And how did the video store guys get involved? Like they're like, you got New Jack City on VHS? No. I'm gonna break
that's
your
what was
arm.
weird about it was because he said that the way that I heard it was that it was hours afterwards that they came over to check out what happened, and I didn't really put that together why the video store guys got beat up.
Yeah, maybe just coming over, they were in the wrong place at the wrong
guess.
time, and people were still pissed off outside.
Maybe they got
I didn't
super
get to
mad
see
because it
Pookie
wasn't
smoke
on
crack.
video yet. So I don't know.
I hope that's what it was. Like they stormed through the place looking for New Jack City on VHS, and it was like nowhere to be found, and they started a riot over
And I
there,
hate to
too.
correct David, but Madeline Stowe has never been in a small movie. So, let's just for the record.
Yeah, I don't know if this is like racially motivated or what they thought, but Closetland I think will sell out at 10:30 always. Closetland, according to IMDb, Closetland is a 7.2, where New Jack City is only a 6.6. So I'm pretty sure Madeline Stowe probably stumps Wesley Snipes in the box office anyway, right?
She's a bigger draw for
her box
sure.
office numbers. And the other great thing about Madeline Stowe, I'm pretty sure she pays her taxes.
I would imagine so. Snipes.
Yeah, you don't hear about the IRS locking her up. Madness in the streets. And yeah, Mario Van Peebles, the balls on that guy.
Let's relax.
I didn't make a violent movie about crack smoking. It was the movie theater. They did it.
There is violence in that movie. It's not. I mean, it's
not
the most gratuitous, but there's violence.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've seen it, but I definitely enjoyed New Jack City. Even later when I watched it several years after seeing it the first time, it still holds up as like it's got some of the like Ice-T moments obviously are hilarious because he isn't the badass that he used to be. So and seeing Chris Rock playing a crackhead is hilarious.
Big ups, Pookie.
Good stuff. Thank you so much, David. Great story. Thank you, Deb, as always, for collecting these stories. I love you get the silverware hitting the plates in the background. Like that's such a good.
I was
touch.
like, man, poor Deb.
It's like
poor Deb and her friends. None of them get to rest because of us.
I know. She's like, oh, you want to tell a story? No, we're just sitting down to eat. Can we just eat for once, Deb?
And the answer is no. You guys cannot just eat. We need.
Nope.
Content,
I'm gonna need
please.
a story. Hold on. One of these days when we get a budget, we'll buy people meals.
Yeah, right. We'll pay for the
getting
dinners
their
that get
stories.
interrupted to tell us stories.
Totally. I mean, it's probably gonna have to be Subway, but we'll start. We'll start there. Then we'll get the crinkling of paper in the background, not necessarily silverware because it's Subway. Thanks to Jesse. Who else we got to thank?
We're gonna thank Rick. He's visiting Tucson this week.
Rick's down in T-Town.
And they just happened. I think they're gonna hit 100 like today or tomorrow. So good for him. From Alaska to the oven.
No thanks. Well, the good thing is you got EGs, so you can always get a nice, cool EGs. Life's gonna be all right.
Flavor of the month.
What was your favorite
root
flavor
beer.
of EG?
Root beer or watermelon, whenever they had them.
Yeah, root beer when it came around was good. Watermelon's disgusting, but I was just always a lemon lime. I would just go simple.
Yeah, but regular. I could go anyway on the regulars. Strawberry, lemon lime, pina colada, they're all fine.
I like the mix, half and half of any of
Give
those.
me that strawberry,
quality.
lemon lime, that's good.
But the best one of all time was Cowabunga Cooler.
Which one was that? Is that the Ninja Turtle green one?
Yeah, exactly.
Big ups to EGs.
Delicious. Shout out to EGs. I miss that about Tucson. I miss a lot of things about Tucson. I need to go back. One day I'll go back to Tucson.
I don't know if they want you, desert rats.
Hold your breath, Tucson. Where can the people find us, John Derby?
Always start in your purest of thoughts and then go immediately to 86charles.com.
That's 86charles.com. You can find us on the Instagram, on the Twitters, at Company Blaster. We're on Tumblr. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Subscribe to us, like us, do all those great
iTunes,
things.
Stitcher.
If you want to help us out,
any sort of podcast,
you can go to our site, 86charles.com, 86charles.com/Amazon. There'll be a link. Click on the link, and you can buy things through the Amazon portal.
Purchasing through the portal.
I don't have the list in front of me, but people are buying amazing things. I can't tell you right now because I didn't bring up the list. But next week, I'm going to deliver a list of. The list returns next week. Hold your breath, America. And as always, John Derby. Well, first of all, let's be happy that Steph Curry's back in the playoffs. But second of all, go ahead and give us one word to leave us on.
Intergalactic.
Bam! He nailed it this week, folks.
The new boy in the neighborhood lives downstairs and it's understood. He's there just to take good care of me, like he's one of the family.